just to be clear here, what Douglas is arguing about. So it had started on Daryl Cooper, whose name Douglas says he doesn't know. He literally goes Daryl Cooper, and then something like that. And then Joe asked him at one point if he had ever consumed any of his work. He says, no, I don't need to. I don't know anything about him. He's talking about one line he said on Tucker Carlson's podcast. Then he's saying the problem with Daryl Cooper is that he takes a guy in Winston Churchill and judges him off one thing and doesn't look at his full body of work. That's what he's arguing. Does anybody see a problem there? $10 to for the first person who can point out the logical contradiction in that argument. Anyway, it's just unreal. Here, let's keep playing.
When you're talking about Daryl, who's done, what was it, 30 plus hours?
So what? 30 plus hours of podcasting. You do that in a week. I mean,
yeah, but it's a very
different. He's not doing a podcast like talking to people.
Again,
okay, noisy.
What a stupid point. Pause
noisy
it
working
for a second. Like, what a stupid point. Like, if I let's say I read a book on tape, which is really kind of what Daryl does with these things. If I sit down like with the effort to script out like a book, that is a different thing than like what me and you are doing right now. And just count the hours that we've done this and then compare it to that. That's like a written presentation, an oral presentation for 30 hours. Do you not see the difference between a 30-hour oral presentation going deep in depth on a topic and all of the players and all of the histories and what started every war and how the people suffered and what both sides, you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
that
a giant
and just
book.
Yes, it's a giant book. It's not having a conversation with people, like, which is a challenge as well, but like it's a totally different thing. All right. Anyway, let's keep playing.
In the archives, clearly. Come on. I mean, he is not the historian of our era.
He's not claiming to be.
This is the thing, Joe. This is like punching jelly.
No, but you don't consume his work.
What I'm saying, because I don't need to consume endless versions of a revisionist history. I understand.
But it's not revisionist
from.
history. If you listen to his work, it's not revisionist history. He's basing it on historical work.
Yeah, I know. But okay, so this is my point about jelly. It's a shape-shifting thing. Comedian or historian?
He's not a comedian.
Historian or podcast? Would-be historian or actual historian? You say he doesn't claim to be a historian, but he's pumping out tens of hours of
neither
history.
Does Dan Carlin. He doesn't claim to be a historian either.
You see my point about the move.
Pause it for a second. Exactly, Joe. But why doesn't he have a problem with Dan Carlin? Oh, because Dan Carlin isn't telling the truth about Israel. That's all it is. It's nothing but a tactic to get the guy who's arguing the point you don't like, rather than fucking addressing any arguments. Let's keep playing.
Weird jujitsu move.
No, I don't.
Where you say, hang on, you know all about this as well. You say, I'm not a historian, but I'm going to spend my time talking about history. I'm not a journalist, but I'm going to spend my time talking about this thing. I'm not an expert on this, but I'm going to spend my time talking about this thing. It's a weird move, yeah?
No.
You don't think?
No, I'm a free American. I can talk about what I like to. So I don't. So what is the point
I've noticed
here?
You can, but
so
we
what's
all
the
can.
point?
The point is, what are you pushing? What are you watering?
What am I pushing?
Yes.
Liberty, free markets, peace, prosperity, not getting in another stupid catastrophic war, which we're on the precipice of right now. That's what I'm pushing.
What are we on the precipice of?
Well, I think weren't you just talking about it the other day? Everyone I hear on the inside says we're about to attack Iran. I think you just said something about that the other day. Am I wrong about that? I thought I saw in one of your interviews that you did.
Possibly. No. Okay. That doesn't mean we are on the verge of a war. I mean, you keep referring to we being in wars. There's a very big difference between a country having a military that's engaged and a country being at war. This country has not been at war for 25 years. You have not been fighting for the American homeland for 25 years.
Yes, we haven't. That's true. Right. We haven't had a war on our shores. We've been picking on third world countries halfway around the world.
Well, you haven't been randomly picking on them. I mean, Afghanistan, you went.
I didn't say it was random.
Yeah, right. Okay. It wasn't like you suddenly
just pause it for a second. Like, dude, it's just, this was the whole thing. Is every point is just garbage. Like everything it's just, I don't know. Do I even need to like point this out, Rob? It's just crazy. It's like look, by the way, there's another, the contradictions are wild, but there's another, how pedantic to stop over we've been at war. And I go, yeah, no, I'm not suggesting the homeland's been attacked. I'm saying we've been picking on these third world countries. And he goes, you haven't been randomly. I didn't say it was random. Obviously, what is this? All right, keep playing. Watch out for this next contradiction.
Myanmar or something. We went to Afghanistan to find bin Laden and take revenge for 9/11 and stop an attack like that happening again on the American homeland. That is very different from a country being at war.
Yeah, but that's a total mischaracterization of the war in Afghanistan. It's one thing to say that might be an accurate characterization of the special operations mission in late 2001, but then we fought a 20-year regime change war against the Taliban.
Because you got dragged into the quicksand of war.
Pause it.
Oh, yes. Okay, fine.
Pause it. He starts the thing by objecting to me saying we've been at war and ends it by saying because you got sucked into the quicksand of war. Oh, so you just use the term you in the same way that I use the term we, and then use the term war in the same way that I use the term war. After that was your objection. He literally starts and then just completely contradicts it at the end. I'll tell you, I didn't even notice that one live. It wasn't until I saw Chief Nerd posted this that I noticed that. But I was like, oh, you literally ended it by saying you got sucked into war. So what the fuck are we talking about here? Anyway.
The Wii U thing. I don't even know if
I thought it wasn't a war.
That was too much for me.
So I'm saying, he says, he's objecting to me saying we've been at war, because it's like, no, that's not really we. But I was like, yeah, but that's the way people use the term we, you know, like referring to your government's actions. Okay, fine. But then at the end, he goes, you've been at war. So it's like, oh, you also implied you, like talking, you know what I'm saying? You're using you implied and I'm using we implied. Whatever. Let's keep playing.
Oh, I said it was a war. It's your use of we, as if you're personally like suffering this war. I mean, you're a taxpayer.
When I say we're taxpayers,
implied, so we pay for it. Okay, fine.
Douglas, would you go, if I went back and corrected you on every time you've used the term we to refer to your government or something like that? Like if I were to say, oh, we just imposed tariffs on China, would you point out that I didn't and it was the Trump administration?
I'm saying you take it obviously very personally, and that's your right to do so, of course. I'm just trying to make sure we're accurate here.
What do you think I'm taking personally?
Just that, the American wars.
Sure. Yeah, I think they've killed hundreds of thousands of people and cost my country $8 trillion and degraded my country very much.
And there's a very good argument to make on that. I'm still slightly bemused about this move from I'm an expert on this and I have views to I'm a comedian.
I've never claimed to be an expert on anything.
Can you just pause again?
This is the problem, Joe.
It's so funny to go, that's a great argument, and people should really have that discussion.
It's like, that's what we're here to do, I thought.
But I'm
Why
confused.
Don't you want to do it then? So what's the other side of it? Give it to me. Present the argument.